All right, so here we are in Pennsylvania at Joel's house, and we're descending down into the basement game room. And Joel is awaiting us downstairs. As you can see, he has a lot of back glasses on the wall, which is really neat, and quite a few collectible wood reel back glasses too at that. Over to the left here, this kind of is like shaped like a letter T. You come down the steps, you can go left this way, or you can go right this way. And we're going to take a stroll down here, right? And here we have Joel awaiting us.
Good morning.
And Joel, tell us a little bit about the wood reels. Why all of a sudden the conversion to the wood reels? I think you have a story that's pretty neat with your grandfather and something like that nature.
Well, to give away the age a little bit, some of these games are as old as I am, and when people in this hobby like to talk about games that they like to collect, they think about games that might be in their birth years. The wood rails are games of the 50s, and games that appear to be a little bit less in demand because they are more difficult to play, and they're not with the same type of whiz-bang and ramps and lights and music that the more modern machines have. So having played pinball over the years, when the time came when my children left the nest, I wanted to redo the basement and put in games of my youth.
You know, that's something that I did too. That's as you get older and you mature, you figure out that, you know, you had a lot of other games for a lot of the people to entertain them, and then at the end, you want to have that comfort of that childhood feel of owning and playing the games that you played back then. So this is really an amazing collection of wood reels Joe's has here. I can't tell you, these games are in remarkable condition, and the titles of these games are just so at the top of the line. And as you can see, he also has himself a Mermaid, which is a game that particularly is sought after by wood reel collectors, and of course it's probably in the top 3 or 5 of all wood reels that are collected these days. So we're going to stroll down here with Joel again. Joel's going to let us know about this knockout here. What's this game here? This is pretty cool, where you have the guys fighting right there in the ring. So Joel's going to give us a little demonstration of this beautiful knockout. Look at the cabinet on this game, is incredible. And Joel, what is the object to this game? I mean, is there a sequence that you try to...
Well, you try to get a sequence if you can, and the idea ultimately, as with a lot of these games, is to try to get on-field requirements of knocking down lights in sequence, and then perhaps going over certain lanes when they're lit at certain point values, and certain knockdowns that fighter will punch the other guy down and give that little animation on the field. That was kind of like a new development at the time, and it made for a lot of smiles.
Yeah, I guess it's playfield animation, which is really cool to be. What year is this game made? Do you know? Close to
1951, I believe.
Wow, 51. So back then in 1951, I think that's the year that the bingos, actually, Bally bingos, were starting to be made by Bally, the manufacturer. And of course, this is a Gottlieb pinball machine. But I'm just trying to put 2 and 2 together. Back then, there was a lot of mechanical animation going on with the bingos, and especially with these pinballs. And that was really something else, you know, to be able to have 2 guys fighting in the ring there. So this is an unusual piece here, a baseball game here. I've never seen this game, and looks really neat. United, huh? Is it United's?
Yep, I believe
That's
this
the manufacturer,
is,
United. Yeah, this is really cool. I've never seen this piece. Look at this piece here. You got the baseball diamond with the balls, and
This is
Actually,
one of the
some nickel
first.
pairs, yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the first running man units, as they call it.
Oh.
Which was
Look at that.
the little animation up at the front,
That is amazing.
and the only flipper activity on this game is just a little bit of knocking up at the top, and once you launch a ball.
Yeah, interesting game. Now, this must be what year, perhaps?
I think this is 1947.
Wow, 47. So, as you can see, Pinball had very small cabinets back then. This was more I would say, rare type of piece, actually. You don't see these around, right?
Well, most of these older games, they're smaller. They have very quick run times.
Right.
And for being able to put in, well, at this time it was technically a penny, but the coin has been changed to a nickel for later years. And that's a very quick nickel sometimes for some
Awesome
people.
game, Joel. Really, I really glad to see something like that. Now we're moving into the back of the game room here, and Roto Pool is one of my favorite wood reels, and this one is just in amazing condition. I seem to favor the pool theme games myself for pinball, and as a wood reel, this game is a spectacular game. Look at the balls in the back box, how nice they light up. And this is a really nice player. It's got the roto spin, and this is in really nice shape, Joe. Very nice, Joel. This is a really nice game. And here's another boxing game here. What's this? World Champ, huh?
1957. And one of my favorites, it's got on-field special, the ability to be able to win as many as 10 games.
Wow, that's enticing for me too, because I love playing the pinball machines and trying to work my way to a special. And this one has 10 specials, you're saying?
Yep.
Wow, that's great. Some of these wood reels do have a lot of ways that the player can win specials, and that's what's really nice about these wood reels. You can win multiples of games you can't win in the wedge head versions when they started in 1961 up to 1978, like El Dorado. These older wood reel games, you can win, like I said, an amazing amount of replays at one shot, and it's a knocking sensation when it goes off. So, yeah, beautiful game. I like the boxing theme games too.
Interesting on this game is that this is a new old stock play field. Apparently years ago there was a large stash of unused play fields up out of Kalamazoo, and the play fields became available for collectors who eventually redid their machines.
Wow, that's a nice piece to have that in there. It's would you call that NOS then?
New old stock.
That's right, an NOS playfield from the 50s. Amazing collection, Joel, so far. And here's an El Dorado. We got a wedge head in between all these beautiful wood reels. We got a Bally game down there we're going to get to called Star Jet, which is a very, very nice game. And this looks like an NOS playfield again.
Well,
right
this
here.
is actually a Wade Krause reproduction.
Okay, very nice. That's right. They are now manufacturing reproduction playfields for wedge heads, and this is a beauty by Wayne. Okay, and we're moving over here to some 2 players and 4 players. You see, Joel has it all. You got wood rails, wedge heads, 2 player, 4 players, early 40s games. This is an amazing collection you're witnessing today, everyone. So let's hear from Joe on this Pleasure Isle. This is a nice game.
This game was actually restored by one of our mutual friends, Mick Rochella. And this is my only add-a-ball game. I tend to be from preferring the replay games as opposed to add-a-ball, and I believe you've talked on the history of replay and versus add-a-ball games, but that was the attempt by the manufacturers to bypass the gambling aspect of things. This game's got several different animations, a below playfield animation, and it's got an animation up in the back glass of a hula dancer when certain points are scored.
Awesome. Very nice game. This is a sought-after game, too. A lot of collectors want this game. Now, here's a beautiful-looking back glass. I mean, this Oklahoma, this has just got the double. This is a great game. Look at the playfield. Is this an original playfield on
This
here?
is a new old stock playfield.
Wow, that's crazy.
We
This,
got signature on there by Wayne Lyons.
wow, there's the signature by one of the best engineers, right? Around.
Designers, yep.
Yep, designer engineering person from Gottlieb, and this is a beautiful back glass. Just a charming Western theme, which you don't see a lot of Western themes from Gottlieb, but just an amazing piece here, Oklahoma. So we're going to swing around here now. We're going to go try to get moving on here. Look at this. We got Rockets. That's a pretty interesting game. I mean, we could spend all day, but maybe we'll move quickly along and across this row here and try to get to the other games. I'd like to try to get in all the games in this one video. It's going to be a 30-minute video. We may have to come back and do another video.
Yeah, this one was signed by Wayne Lyons as well.
Where's that one signed?
On the back glass.
Well, there's another one by Wayne Lyons signed. That's an amazing piece, and to have him sign it. That gentleman is still alive. He worked in Gottlieb for many, many years. He's 100 years old. Is that correct, Joe?
I believe so. He just had his birthday.
100 years old. He's in great shape. He had a party at his home, and he's playing pinball still. So something to be said about these machines. To still have that designer still living is a pleasure, and hopefully he'll have many more years to come. Okay, so Bankable, that's another pool game theme, and I love all the pool game themes, and I can't wait to play this one, actually. I'm going to really be enjoying myself today because this is going to be a real treat for me and the rest of the collectors that come.
Well, the more common bankable that collectors seem to want is the wedgehead version, which was in 1965. And this game was actually the first bankable put out by Gottlieb, and plays it very similarly. You got to score the 1 through 7, and then get the 8 to get a special, 9 through 15, and then hit the 8 again for special.
Can't wait to play, Joel. And Buffalo Bill, Rose Bowl, Minstrel Man, Queen of Hearts, Buccaneer. He's got all the top wood rails. I mean, this collection is superb. You're not going to see it, and it's operable. That's the other great thing about Joel's collection. You can come here and play these games, and they're in amazing condition. The play fields, mechanically, cosmetically. Take a look at these cabinets. They're just incredible shape. You've done such a great job with your collection, Joel. I want to commend you on it. It's not easy to have all these games and to have them all in this condition. It's a great thing of history here too. There's a lot of history behind these games, and as you can see, these walls are filled with Atlantic City Bingo, one of my favorite 3-card bingos. I believe that was made in 1952 by Bally. Bally started making bingos in 1951, and they made them up to 1980 when they had their last run of electronic bingos called Continental, and they sold that whole run of Continentals over to a company called GAA in Belgium, and they started to manufacture bingos from the 1980s on in Belgium. So we're swinging around here. I want to try to keep the camera moving slow. Joel's going to pick up, here's a really unique game here, Skill Derby. Got horses on top. Look at this animation with the track. For all you guys that love to bet on the ponies and go to the track, this is a beautiful piece that Joel has here. So swinging around, we're moving along here. We have Starjet. Where did you get this one? This is a nice game right here.
I got
Very
this from
unusual.
a collector friend out in Arizona.
Awesome.
He had this game restored.
Yes, highly collectible, I believe, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to take it a little slower down here. This is a beautiful back glass, and a great game by Bally. This is very sought after, and it's in magnificent shape. So we're swinging around here to Grand Slam and Slugging Champ. A lot of baseball game, wood rails, and boxing games. I mean, that's what America was all about back then. America was about baseball and boxing back in the 50s. So a lot of the manufacturers, especially Gottlieb, has, we're putting out these type of games. And look at these nice pictures Joel has hanging up here. We all know who that is in there, in the center. Babe Ruth, right?
That's Babe.
And who's the guy in the right? Is that Yogi?
No, those
looks
are
like Yogi.
two guys from the Brooklyn Dodgers, and whose names I used to know for the picture, but I can't recall now.
That's okay. But look at this 32 World Series poster. It's just amazing surrounding of the game. So Joel's back here. We had a little interruption. There's more than likely people are starting to come into the party today.
What I wanted to point out on this game, this was made in 1963, but look at the back glass and how visionary the artist was at the time to be able to have always women, attractive women for the back glasses, holding what appears to be iPhones.
Well, is that the one with the red dot in there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. It says Verizon on there.
Can you hear me now?
Awesome interpretation of that artwork in the back glass there. Terrific game. Got the poster. All right, so we're going to... And he also has the pool table here, which is covered, as you can see. So he's got it all going on down here. We're going to move over to the left side of the basement game room where Joel has some other machines just set up. And as you can see here, is a nice little bar type situation where you have counter space and very nicely set up. Over here, I guess this game here is in the wings here. This is something that's going to...
This is one of the flipperless games. There are no flippers on the side. So this was a true game of shooting the ball and doing what you could to nudge it to be able to score accordingly.
Very nice. And it's a Gottlieb. And it must be from the 40s.
1947.
Right? Because the flippers were not made yet or invented. But this is a beautiful game. It looks like it has some kind of light box animation down there on the bottom there, the pool. Very nice artwork from that era in the 40s, people that loved that era.
Yeah, as you get
This is
certain
a beautiful-
values, Maisie climbs up the ladder,
Wow.
and then she'll do a flip into the pool.
That's unreal. A light show I thought it would be. And got some Genkos over here. These are very nice stand-up games. Are these type games gambling games, or is
Well-
it just for fun or amusement? Or
Well, the 400, as was originally promoted, was the first of the upright games that came out. And they promoted this game as a real money maker, where you can get 7 coins every 45 seconds.
wow, so it actually is an interesting piece for sure.
So it's, as a lot of these games at that time, it was a gambling machine, and as if you scored a certain number of credits, then the operator would pay you that many credits times the
Right.
coin value.
Similar to the bingos, you would say, in a vendor's operation, right?
I would say very similar to that.
Okay.
Here, the object of the game, if you can, would be to get a 1 through 6 of a given color, and you can buy extra balls along the way.
Awesome.
But if you were lucky enough to indeed get all 12, you could win 400 games.
Which would be nickels or dimes?
That would be
Probably nickels.
400 nickels, $20.
That's big money back in the 40s, I'll tell you right
A lot
now.
of people lost their lunch money.
All right, so we're winding down here on this first video. We have about 9 minutes left, so we're going to try to get it all in. And Showboat. I have a Showboat from Gottlieb, And I know this is Jenko's. Showboat Gottlieb made was in 1961, but this is a game I can't wait to play. This is a beauty, too.
1957, this was the last production game put out by Genko.
Okay, so we're moving along. We got Freshie here. We got some flipper arrangement here on this game. Another nice game, beautiful back glass.
An impulse flipper.
There you go.
The idea of this is that you could play one-handed and drink a beer with the other.
There you go. Back then, that would be pretty handy. So we're swinging around here. There's this nice mural that Joel has on his wall. Very nice. We're swinging to the back now. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty of games here. Gypsy Queen. Another Jenko looks similar to that upright one we just discussed with Joel. It looks like they put one into a pinball machine they made. That's very interesting.
Well, this is the only game that I've ever seen like this. It's got balls that will be lifted up an elevator in the back glass, and then when you go through a release on the playfield, which is where you would normally curse losing the ball, that releases the balls that have been collected.
Wow.
And
Did
if
you get to play them?
And if you can get the lanes lit.
There you go, back there on the back glass he's talking about. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, 1 through 12 lanes.
Yep.
That's awesome. This is I can't wait to play these games. I'm really starting to get excited now. So we're going to swing down to Barnacle Bill.